Friends, my name is Arif Mamdani. I am the Director of Membership and Adult Ministry here at First Universalist Church. And whether this is the first time that you're joining us online, whether you have been part of this church community for years and years and years, we are so glad that you are with us today. For over 176 years, this church has proclaimed a vision of love and hope that is so big that everyone is included, where each of our identities and all of our life experiences are welcomed, and they are welcomed with joy. We are a people who listen deeply to where love is calling us next. We welcome, affirm, and protect the light in each human heart. And we cultivate humility, courage, and compassion in service to justice. And we do all this as a faith community that is committed to racial justice. I want to let you know about a bunch of things that are happening over the next week or so. The first is to invite you to join me in coffee hour right after the service. You can grab the link for that on the website. It's just a short opportunity to connect with other people, and we would really love to see you there. We also have several opportunities for children and youth today, and you can find all those links and more on the church website. You can also join us for worship again together on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. And I want to be sure to tell you two things. The first is that our annual meeting is next Sunday at 11:30. You will need to register in advance for this meeting. We're doing this meeting on Zoom, and because of some technical stuff for how we're going to do voting and things like that, we are going to ask that each member register, and you will be receiving an email with all of these details this afternoon. So please do keep an eye out for that. Please do register. It's a really important part of what it means to be a member of this church, and we really hope that you can join us. Again, that is our annual meeting next week, next Sunday at 11:30. And if you're not a member, there are also ways that you can participate and see what's happening. So you are absolutely welcome to join this event, whether you're a member or not. I also want to invite you, our flower communion is coming up. This is one of the many highlights of this time of year, is our flower communion service. And so here's what we're asking. We're asking that each household send us a picture of yourself with other members of your household and a flower, near a flower, a flowering lilac bush, some sort of floral something, and that you take a photo of that and you send it to communications@firstuniv.org. Again, there will be more information about that over email, as well as information up on our website. So friends, today is a really special Sunday. Every year, we invite our high school class to lead us in worship, to sing together, to listen to their message of hope and wisdom, and to honor our seniors who are graduating this year and moving on to working, taking a gap year, or heading off to college. Youth Sunday has been especially challenging this year, and if you were with us last Sunday, you know that this Youth Sunday has been particularly challenging. So we are thrilled, knock on wood, that Zoom is cooperating. I almost feel like I shouldn't have said that out loud. But what I want you to know is that all of what you see today has been imagined, it has been created, it has been pulled together and edited by our youth. It has been a big undertaking. And I couldn't think of a better group of folks to undertake this serious challenge of creating worship during physical distancing, this time of heavy hearts, and create this web of connection and care that could not and will not be broken. The high school group leaned into questions of wisdom. They explore the meaning of wisdom that each of us, regardless of age or place, has some wisdom to share. You will hear music performed by our youth. You will hear a story about wisdom. You will see a collage of voices speaking about wisdom, and you will hear 2 homilies from our seniors. It is a full Sunday. It is a beautiful time of worship, and I will suggest that you might want a box of Kleenex handy. I can't participate in this worship with our youth without bawling completely. I know I'm not alone in that. So, you might want to grab your Kleenex. And so, friends, I invite you into this time and place of connection, renewal, and hope. So let's begin by settling our bodies and our minds with this 3 deep breath practice that Reverend Jen taught us. So take a nice slow breath in, hold it for a moment, and then exhale slowly. And let's do that again when you're ready. Deep breath in, and a slow exhale. And one last time. Deep breath in, and a slow exhale. And now, friends, with settled bodies and minds, I invite you to take out your chalice or your candle and light it with us. Chloe Maynor will lead us in our chalice lighting words, followed by a musical offering by Grace and Theo Prince, and then a story for all ages.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Welcome to the Story for All Ages. This is an Ashanti story retold by Jessica York and by the youth group of First Universalist Church. Anansi is a spider, and he loves to spin a tale. He can regale you for hours with stories full of wonder, stories full of fun, and stories full of facts, too. Because he is so nosy, Anansi knows almost everything about almost everyone. Almost. But Anansi wants to know everything. So, one day, he goes to the house of the sun god.
Almighty sun god, you see everything and everyone. Won't you share your great wisdom with me? I'll use it to spin tales of wonder and fun.
Anansi, I will put all the wisdom in the world into this pot, and you must share this wisdom with everyone.
If you give me the wisdom, I'll promise to share it with everyone.
Anansi takes the pot home. He looks deep into the clay pot, and sure enough, it holds magnificent knowledge. He sees sights and hears sounds he did not know existed. He begins to see everyone else's mistakes, and feels like he could never make any.
This is too good to give away. I must keep this great wisdom for myself. But, I must hide it. But where would I hide it?
Anansi decides to climb to the top of the tallest tree. There, he will tie up the clay pot, and the leafy branches will hide it from everyone else. He starts climbing the tree, holding the pot in front of him. The climbing is hard, and Anansi wishes he had 9 limbs. His youngest daughter is outside and sees what a hard time Anansi is having.
Father, do you need any help?
Of course I don't need help, daughter. I'm the wisest being in the world.
It'd be easier if you tied the pot to your back. That way all your limbs would be available for climbing.
She's right. It would be easier. Why is it that some young pup can think of this when I, who possess all the knowledge in the world, could not?
Anansi is shocked and embarrassed. He gets so angry that he throws the pot to the ground. The pot explodes, and all the wisdom of the world comes flowing out. It gets spread all across the world. Everyone gets a piece of the wisdom, and no one gets all of it. That is why, even today, wisdom is everywhere. Everyone has an equal amount of wisdom to share, no matter what age they are. Thank you for listening to the story of all ages.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing. That was just amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I am I'm just so grateful and impressed that you all were able to do that separated. That really, thank you. So friends, we're going to enter a time of prayer now. So I invite you to put down what you're holding. To let your gaze be soft. Let your eyes close if that's comfortable. This service, celebrating our youth, saying goodbye to this stage of our journey with these senior high school students, it can bring up so many feelings. It can be overwhelming, as so much in life is at times these days. So let us breathe deep together. Let's allow ourselves to become just a little bit more centered. And so as you inhale, I invite you to inhale and let your shoulders roll back and down, to come to a more upright position in your body. To sit or stand or lie down in a way where the breath feels full, and let each breath make our hearts feel more open. With each breath, let our hearts be more open. So as we breathe in, we can say, may my heart be open. And as we breathe out, may we let go of what we're holding. Breathe in. May my heart be open. Breathe out. May areas of tightness release. Let us breathe together silently for a moment as our bodies make more space for what we're holding, as we make more space for all that we're feeling, as we breathe in and out this good breath that connects us, this good breath that makes us one. The poet Nayira Wahid says, feel it. The thing that you don't want to feel it and be free. Spirit of life and love, our prayer is simple. There is so much that we're feeling these days. Things that we want to feel, some things that we don't. Help us, Spirit of life. In this circle of love and care, may we find the space to feel more. Help us to feel. May we awaken to this moment just as it is. not adding anything, not taking anything away. May we be awake in this moment to all that is our lives. Awake to the plans changed, canceled, postponed. Awake to the sound of rain, the call of birds, the impossible green that reminds us that our earth moves in cycles, that after seasons of stillness come seasons of growth. God of our being and our becoming, may the green shoots, the slender leaves, the early blossoms be our guide. Like them, may we reach for the sun, may we find and follow our yearning to grow even when the soil isn't right. Even when we have too much or too little water, may we find and follow our yearning, may we find and follow our path. These are times of grief and sorrow, and there is so much that we're carrying. And we know that when we share what is on our hearts, everyone's load is a little lighter. And so I invite you now to share in the chat box, to speak aloud in your homes, to speak silently in the sanctuary of your heart, the grief and the sorrow that encircles your heart this morning. Yeah, there is so much. There is so much that we're holding. Grief and loss, wanting to be together when we can't be. Missing out on the rituals of this time, the rituals, the ways that we mark the end of school, the end of the year, the ways that we mark times of loss and memorial and memory. There is so much that we are holding. It's such a challenging and confusing time of grief. We hold all of these sorrows, all those named and those held in your hearts, in this circle of care and love. And even in the midst of grief, even with sorrows that threaten to overwhelm us, grace breaks through in surprising and unexpected ways. And so I invite you to share in the chat, to speak aloud at home, or hold in your heart those things that are lifting your spirits, helping you to reach for the sun, helping your heart to unfold and follow its yearning. So many things that are helping our hearts to unfold. The lilacs, the flowers growing in our backyards, all around us. The ways that we are connecting across distance. Zoom, phone, writing letters. The places that we are able to go with the people we are able to be with, whoever they may be, distanced or not. The creativity that surrounds us. all of the things bringing us joy. And to these, I add that we wish Eid Mubarak to our Muslim siblings in faith. We hope that the month has been a good one for you, and we look forward to celebrating with you in person when we can. And to our graduating high school students, we know that this is not how you expected to end high school. The way that you have accepted with grace and creativity the reality of this moment is inspiring. And we know that your radiance will only continue to shine on all those who have the good fortune to know you. Please know that you are so loved by this congregation, and that where you go, we will go, beloveds. And so as we close this time of prayer, this time of sharing grief and sorrows, this time of grace and surprising joy, let our prayer be simple. May the grip of addiction be loosened. May the weight of oppression be lightened. May grief be shared, and may joy break through. May love make every suffering bearable for us all. May it be so, and amen.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Smooth in your hand, giving life the shape of justice. Bruise hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me and come to me.
Oh, I just love Annie Pichel's voice. Thank you so much, Annie, for leading us in song. Oh, just so clear and crisp, your voice. Oh, such a gift. Thank you so much. Friends, our youth took on the question of wisdom in two ways. First, they created a video collage asking their parents, one another, and their siblings about wisdom. What is a hardship they have encountered in their lives? What are some of the wisdoms that they learned from that encounter? And what would they like to share? What's important for us to know about wisdom? And then we had two of our senior graduates write reflections on wisdom, Jason Berry and Ellen Poulter, and they are beautiful reflections. And in between these two segments, there is a song. Franco Holders is going to play one of our favorite songs, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. So please join in singing with Franco and just take in this wonderful next segment of videos. Our youth are about to drop some wisdom. Here it is.
In order to gather wisdom from people of all ages in our church community, we interviewed our family members about hardships they've experienced in their lives and what they learned from those experiences. We've collected a few pieces of advice from those interviews to share with you today.
Hello, my name is Torsten, and I'm 6.
Hello, my name is Aristotle, and I'm 14.
Hello, my name is Sophia, and I'm 16 years old.
Hi, I'm Grace, and I'm 18 years old.
My name is Barry Crone. I'm 47.
Hi, I'm Laura Johansson, and I'm 50 years old.
Hi, I'm Paula. I'm 51 years old.
Hi, I'm Eli Mulvihill. I am 55 years old.
I'm Daniel Paskowitz, and I'm 76 years old.
The most important relationship in life that you will have is a relationship that you choose to have with yourself. And I use the word choose because there's a lot of power in choice.
You should not listen to bullies.
Be kind. Be kind to people who aren't similar to you. Be kind to people who are older than you. Be more generous, and be kind to people that are younger. And the hardest part is trying to be kind to people who are not kind to you.
If you have a healthy, enjoyable, functioning relationship with yourself, chances are you're going to have good relationships in life.
Enjoy life. Like, if something bad happens, take your time to grieve, but it's life, so you should live it the best you can.
Yeah, what you really love to do, what really makes you happy, and then sticking with it.
If you're really like in the dumps about something, like there's always a way out of it. And you can rely on your friends and your loved ones and your family and people that you look up to that can help you. So you should never ever feel that you're trapped and helpless and that you can't get out of a bad situation, because you definitely can.
Love early and love often.
Is to do what makes you happy and to trust yourself and try to make other people feel happy too.
And how I needed to kind of advocate for myself and kind of speak up and really say what I wanted and needed.
Having family and a support system around you to help you go through a hard time.
Being called wise is kind of the ultimate compliment. I know this because one of my sister's favorite ways to berate me whenever I do something dumb is to say, "That was wise, Jason." A couple days ago, we were playing Minecraft and she fell off a cliff and died. I finally flipped the script. "That was wise, Caitlin." It felt great. And while I've gotten so used to the sarcasm that I've kind of forgotten what she's actually insulting me for, When I was the one to call her wise, I realized that wisdom is so much more than just not making dumb decisions. To be wise is to be so thoughtful that your actions only have the consequences that you intend. More than that, it's to be able to dispense wisdom, to be so thoughtful that you can help someone else minimize or maximize the consequences of their own actions. The most influential character in pretty much any book out there is the old wise one. Think Albus Dumbledore. Dumbledore carries the good side of the wizarding world on his back for years and years, and those of you who have read Harry Potter know that Harry's pretty much lost without Dumbledore's wisdom. But do you think Dumbledore started out that way? He was, I'll admit, just about as intelligent as could be, even as a young man. But Dumbledore shouldn't have been wise from the beginning, right? I've always thought of wisdom as something you build up. As you get older, you gain the experience you need to make wise decisions. Being blessed with that incredible clarity of thought his whole life just sounds a little bit unfair. But just because it's unfair doesn't mean it's impossible. And I bet anyone listening today with a younger sibling or a little kid knows that sometimes when they open their mouths, just a little bit of wisdom comes falling out. For the little ones listening today, that does not mean everything you say is wise, just FYI. But if kids can be wise, then this goes against the classic definition of wisdom. Good judgment based on lifelong experience. Kids are, kind of by definition, inexperienced, and yet it often seems like it's their limited experience that makes them so wise. They notice discontinuities in the world and describe why they think they happen. They make profound observations about life and happiness. Sometimes, just by looking with a totally fresh pair of eyes, kids find solutions to dilemmas that have been bothering us old folk for a long time. Of course, I'm not old. I'm a teenager, and we have our own kind of wisdom. It's called being self-absorbed. And while I'm joking just a little bit here, I'm totally serious that self-absorption is an essential part of being able to be wise. Being a teenager is all about learning who you are, so you don't have to spend so much time worrying about it when you get older. And that's wisdom as well. Adolescents are collecting vast stores of information about how different things make us feel, even if this wisdom can only be applied to our own lives. And, of course, we know the consequences of our actions. We know what's likely to happen if we sneak out or skip a class. But if these decisions are wise, thinking about our journey to self-awareness as wisdom can be dangerous. If we're still wise while making these terrible, poorly planned decisions, what's wisdom even worth anyway? If kids, who have pretty much zero experience, can be wise, and adolescents with the worst judgment of us all can be wise, then that classic definition of wisdom, where vast experiences give rise to good judgment, isn't going to cut it. And honestly, I don't even like that definition very much. So I propose that wisdom is simply observation. The world gives us everything we have to be wise about. All we have to do is pay attention to our thoughts, to the world, and especially to the people around us. I've been in the proud pursuit of wisdom for 18 years now. I relished my ability to notice things. As an adolescent, I realized, wisely, that thinking is actually something that I like to do. And for a while, it made me feel wise. But this year, I started doing a lot of this kind of thinking that my therapist calls rumination. Rumination, contrary to what I thought when I started writing this part, wasn't invented by Rumi, the great thinker of the 1700s. Although, that would have made this writing a whole lot easier for me. In fact, rumination comes from the word rumen, or cud, the stuff cows chew on. So, when I say I'm ruminating, I literally mean that my brain is just chewing on a big old load of cud. The problem is, of course, that the cud, that is, my rumination, is invariably about the unsolvable problems in my life. It will never go away, no matter how much I chew on it. So be kind to your brains. They're churning out new observations, new connections, new wisdom all the time. It's a big load. And everybody should have some cud to chew on as they go through this life. I mean, it connects us. Everybody's thinking. It keeps us sharp. Everybody's working to make knowledge out of what we observe. Just don't let the cud chew you.
What does it mean to be living through a biblical story? What does it mean for us to be living through something that is so far-fetched it feels like we're part of a storyline meant to teach humanity a lesson? When I think about a pandemic, it sounds a lot like a fable or a Bible story. At times, I think we're experiencing a flood of chaos very similar to Noah's flood in the Bible. God saw that human evil was out of control. God was sorry he had made the human race and decided to make a clean sweep of things. God instructed Noah to build a boat, and one day, as the rain began to fall, Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives knew it was time to board the ship. With them, every kind of animal arrived in pairs of 2. God shut the door behind them, and the flood continued. 40 days of the water rose and lifted the ships high above the earth. The water kept rising and the flood deepened on the earth. The ship floated to the surface. The flood got worse and worse until it began to stop. Everything had died. Anything that moved and lived on the earth had died. The only living, breathing life that remained was on Noah's ship. After almost a whole year, Noah's ship began to lower, and Noah thought that the earth might be dry. He sent out a raven that flew back and forth, waiting for the floodwater to dry up. He sent a dove to check on the flood conditions, but it couldn't even find a place to perch. Water still covered the earth. Noah reached out and caught the bird and brought it back onto the ship. He waited another 7 days, and the dove went out again. It picked a fresh olive leaf, and Noah knew that the flood was just about finished. After another 7 days, Noah sent the dove out a 3rd time, and this time it didn't come back. After an entire year, Noah had arrived on land. Noah knew that the flood had ended, and it was safe to open the hatch and enter upon the earth. God spoke to Noah, "Leave your ship, you, your wife, your sons, and your sons' wives. Take the animals with you and flourish upon the earth." And then God spoke to Noah and his sons. "I'm setting up a covenant with you, including your children who will come after you, with every life around you that came out of the ship. I am setting up a covenant with you to never again destroy everything living, to never again send floodwaters upon the earth and destroy it." God continued, "As a sign of the covenant I am making between you, I am putting a rainbow in the clouds, a sign of covenant between me and the earth. From now on, I will form a cloud over the earth, and the rainbow will appear in the cloud. I'll remember my covenant between us and every living thing, and never again will I flood the waters and destroy all life." This flood of sorts is happening to us right now. Everyone is doing their best to navigate through these uncharted waters, but there is no land yet, no mountains to rest upon, no place for a dove to perch. We are all gathered, much like Noah, in our homes, with our family and maybe a few creatures. Once we leave our homes and the world begins to return to normal, that will be our time to make a covenant to God and one another. I hope that our story will be told 3,000 years from now and will be something along the lines of, after terrible disease spread across the world and country, causing many to lose family and friends, the people were given a choice. They could return to their old lives, or they could make a covenant with all of humanity and earth. In leaving their homes, they were different, yet their similar experiences was what united them. They had survived a flood. The pandemic had caused a shift in the way they interacted with one another. They had learned that they were more alike than they were different. The people learned that when they slowed down, they grew closer with family and nature. They grew to love every neighbor. Humanity was reminded what it meant to have hope and patience as people began to re-enter the world. They joined in a promise to remember what they had lost, and they took advantage of opportunities they had found. They had found a new love and appreciation for life and the earth. I hope that this will be the lessons and wisdom left from us as we leave our flood. For me, there is no wisdom yet to come of this experience. There hasn't been enough time, but I hope that in due time, as people tell this story as it's over, that it will be a message of hope and a message of patience and a message of love.
Oh, I am so moved by our youth. Their incredible work, creativity, wisdom, and really deciding to grapple with the real of life. And so I am going to now introduce our offering and say that indeed this is a covenant. Our offering in essence is a covenant that we make with one another and the world. That we say we're going to give our gifts and our gifts to the world and to one another through an offering. And today our offering is for youth. In essence, their leadership opportunities, and you'll see that there on the screen. Today we support youth in their leadership opportunities through the UUA, like Youth Leadership School, Summer Seminary, Thrive, and General Assembly. So I hope that you will give generously. You can text by texting First UNIV to 73256, and you'll receive a link to a secure form where you can enter your information. Or you can just do it the old-fashioned way and send us a check, but we ask that you give generously to youth leadership this year. And while the offering is taken, we are featuring the music of a very talented young musician, Elle Lexfold. They are playing Haydn's Concerto in E-flat major. It is beautiful, so enjoy.
Bridging is a UU ritual in which we mark our graduating seniors' transition into young adulthood. We have great anticipation for how they will shape and steward our religious tradition through the decades to come. But in this moment, we pause to acknowledge their contributions to our religious community through their years in religious education at First Universalist Church. Dear seniors, some of you were among our first little class of chalice lighters. We've celebrated so many milestones with you, from child dedication to first grade Rainbow Path graduation to 9th grade coming of age. As teens, you've taken care of our young ones and taught religious education classes. You've planned youth cons and stayed up way too late at church overnights. You've planned youth cons. You've traveled to Boston and Nicaragua. You've served as worship associates. You've challenged us to address white supremacy culture, to become more accessible, to ensure each person's gender is respected by accurate pronouns. You've reached beyond these walls and found ways to fight injustices in the world. You've cared for each other in countless ways, and you are truly an inspiration to this entire congregation. We love you so, so much.
Yes, we do. And graduates, this is a time of transition for your families as well. Fellow parents, this community is here for us as our youth take flight. Let us welcome in the joy and grief that live side by side at this milestone, knowing we are not alone. Let's pause to send some gratitude to the dozens of religious education volunteers, youth advisors, and mentors who invested their love and care in our young people through the years. The journey is sweeter, safer, and deeper when our community includes folks who are older than us, who show us how to approach each phase of life with grace, wisdom, and courage, as well as folks who are younger than us, who remind us to play, ask questions, and imagine new ways, new dreams, and new models for a truly just and sustainable world. It takes a village, and this village is with us still. Each ending is also a beginning. Graduates, as we witness your growth through the years, we are keenly aware of how we treasure you. And that continues to be true now that you are young adults. May this community always be a home for you.
Well, I hope your dreams don't feel small. When the wind begins to rise, I hope your mast stands straight and tall. These are fragile times. We blur the lines. In the unlikeliest of places, we all find a little grace. There's no wrong way home. One winter coat, two wild eyes, all the unspoken love that you're carrying inside. These ain't the calmest days, but you like it that way. Won't you rest a while in the storm's peaceful eye? And it ain't where you've been, but it's where you going to. It ain't where you from, but where you belong. There's no wrong way home. There's no wrong way home. The spiral shell, golden mean. You see it just the sum of those who have been down this road before. You were expecting more. It won't hurt to rest a while. Soft shoulder by your side. There's no wrong way home. And I didn't choose you. You didn't choose me. briefest flashing moment kept each other company. Then we're on our own, wheeling restless bones. I'll see you by and by, to unlikely butterflies. It ain't where you been, but it's where you going to. It ain't where you from, but where you belong. There's no wrong way home. There's no wrong way home. Count 0 to 9, stop at 10. We turn ourselves over and start it all again. Guess I'm still a child, and I'll never learn. I still need to see the odometer's turn. There's a wrong way home. One blue-green world, round as a pearl. Doesn't matter which road you take, you wind up in the same place. That's not philosophy, it's geometry. If things don't look the same, it's only you who change. It ain't where you've been, but it's where you going to. It ain't where you from, but where you belong. There's no wrong way home. There's no wrong way home. Hope your plans count for rain. Hope you stashed a few dreams where you might find them once again. These are the best of days. Might not feel that way, but it's in the rearview mirror. These things become clear. There's no wrong way home. There's no wrong way home. One braid for laughter, one for fear. Tied them both together. It was always windy here. Don't take this wrong, but I never knew. Were you watching over me? Was I watching over you? It ain't where you been, but it's where you going to. Where you from, but where you belong. There's no wrong way home. There's no wrong way home.
Oh my word, my cheeks are hurting. I was smiling so much. Oh, that was just fantastic. So good to see our senior graduates from being little ones into their graduation pictures. Oh, man, my heart is just leaping with joy. Well, I have to contain myself so I can do my next thing. Okay, so every one of our graduating seniors received one of these pillows from First Universalist Church. In fact, Emma Paskowitz drove all over creation and back so that every one of our seniors could have this pillow for this part of the worship service. So seniors, grab those pillows, hug them tight, because we're going to bless you and we're going to bless these pillows. Dear seniors, dearest seniors, women in this congregation sat in their living rooms and their kitchens, sewing together strips of fabric in the rainbow-colored path. They stitched in beautiful etchings this flame for the chalice, and then they stuffed these pillows with batting and love. That's what they're filled with. Graduates, these pillows are an embodiment of our love for you. They are a reminder to you that you are guided by principles of faith that are tried and true. You are held by this community wherever you go. So if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling out of sorts, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling joyful, if you're feeling confused, if you're feeling really connected, whatever those feelings may be, grab this pillow and squeeze it, hug it, and we're going to be hugging you back. That's what these pillows are, a connection between you and us. May this pillow be a touchstone to keep you strong and tender, compassionate and loving, wondering and reverent in all your days to come. You are not alone. We are with you. And now I think that Satya and Juliet are going to join me in whatever's happening next. So, Juliet, you should unmute yourself. There we go. Okay.
Hi, my name is Juliet Alikakamo.
And I'm Satya Mamdani.
And as a gift for Ruth's retirement, we asked the youth of First Universalist Church to share videos of themselves answering the following questions. What is your favorite memory of Ruth? What impact has she had on your life? What are you going to miss most about Ruth? And here are just a few of the responses.
One of my favorite memories with you, Ruth, was when we got to have our coming of age meeting. And it was the first time that someone really helped me boil down what I believed into a statement. And I felt like you really listened to me. Having someone else share those beliefs was really meaningful to me and helped my spiritual development a lot.
My favorite memory with you was on the Boston trip when you showed us one of your songs and we all got to listen to your beautiful voice and music.
You actually helped me tweak almost my entire life perspective because I left the meeting with a better understanding of myself.
You wanted to hear my truth and use that to create a more accessible and welcoming church.
Seeing a queer person in a religious setting has had a really big impact on me. For a long time, I didn't think that queerness and religion went together, but you showed me otherwise.
One of the things that makes you so special, Ruth, is that you face the world with a smile and bring your enthusiasm and high level of energy to everyone around you. It's really amazing to see that.
I'm going to miss how I always feel like you're listening to me. And as a teenager, that doesn't really happen a lot.
Through the way you live, you have shown me what it looks like to embody UU values on a daily basis and to live through your UU values. I have learned a lot just from watching how you are in the world.
What I'm going to miss most about you is your hugs. You always give the best hugs, Ruth.
When I was little, I remember thinking of you as a fun singer lady with the cool hair and the glasses, and that's pretty special.
You have a flame that can touch anybody, and you're so loving and kind. Everyone around you always sees that.
You always enter the senior high class with a, "Hello, friends," and that's something that I'll really miss hearing.
Ruth, you have had such an impact on so many of our lives during your time at First Universalist. Your words, actions, and spirit have helped the youth of this church grow in so many ways. We are so grateful for you and all that you have done at this church.
We gifted Ruth with a pillow to symbolize that no matter where you go in our church community, we will always go with you. Just as you tell our senior graduating class, in sad times, you can squeeze this pillow and know that the love of our church surrounds you. And in happy times, you can squeeze this pillow and know that we are celebrating right there with you.
Lastly, we have included the following video so you can hear some messages of thanks from our youth.
Hi, Ruth.
We all love you, and we're all very grateful for everything you've done for us, and your warm presence and the love that you've given us for the past couple of years.
Bye, Ruth. We'll miss you.
We love you, Ruth.
I just want to say thank you for everything you've done with us, and we love you, Ruth.
She is just so happy and bright, and
so I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Ruth.
We love you, Ruth.
Gonna miss you, Ruth.
I love you so much, Ruth, and we're gonna miss you so much. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you so much for being our minister, our leader, and our friend, and we love you, Ruth.
And I'm really gonna miss you. We love you, Ruth. So yeah, thank you, Ruth. Bye.
ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat.
Friends, it's going to be a little hard to get through. I'm sorry I'm crying so much. But they're tears of joy, I guess, and a little sadness too. At our service on Wednesday, I talked about the importance of betting on life, especially when times are hard and troubling, when you feel like everything's falling apart. It's important to share things, to do things, to say things, to create things that are life-giving. It's important to bet on life. Youth and children of First Universalist Church, you are this faith community's bet on life. We are betting on you. You are so magnificent. In you, we see the future that is so full of good and grace, loving and creative, beautiful and thriving. And it has been my absolute pleasure to serve as a minister of coming of age and to work with our high school youth. You are my bet on life. And I think I bet really well. The odds are with me. I'm sure of it. They're with this whole church. You all are going to be a blessing to this world. And so in closing, what I want to say is, may each and every one of us, at whatever age, that all of us make a bet on life. May we have compassion for ourselves and others. May we hold one another close, even though we are far apart. May we show up for one another in gestures that are big and are small. May we be blessed, and may we be a blessing. Oh, may we be blessed, and may we be a blessing. May there be peace in our thoughts, peace in our words, peace in our hearts. Amen. And now let's sing Go Now in Peace together.